monsters. Good day to you, partner. I'm keen, and I can already tell that I'll be your best friend in this forsaken camp.
Hey guys, Wheat Solo here, aka the Skeleton King. So someone brought it to my attention that some guy made a the horniest of vegans, the man who posts the most homoerotic content you'll ever find in all of Project Diablo 2 Discord, said that this guy made a great summon video. And so I'm just here to watch it to learn, because that's what I want to do. Because this guy is a professional, 25 years of experience, and I'm sure he knows what he's talking about. By the way, the first thing I wanted to bring up real quickly, and I don't know if he's going to address this in the video, but the first little bit, he has witches, but the witches always seem to cast Blood Curse. I'm not sure if that's intentional for any reason, and I wonder if he's actually getting the wrong witches, because the only witches that cost amp are from the Frozen Highland waypoint. Don't quote me on this if I'm wrong, but it's basically on the waypoint that's not Worldstone Keep, where you can get witches in Act 5. And they're very good. It's a very good amp curse. Now, again, they can still cast Blood Curse, so it's like a 50-50. But if you do get amp from them, it's like, yippee. And if they don't, you can just cast amp, which is what he is doing. Maybe he's just getting really unlucky. Anyways, let's watch the video. First thing I want to point out is I actually think this list is pretty good, because I think a lot of players do want to know what they should wear while leveling up. I really don't think it matters unless you have a friend giving you gear, and if you can get a full Saigon set, that's fine. You can really just pick up random crap, okay? Even clearing hell should not be an issue for you guys. The one thing I would say is I think he underrates faster run walk. I would put FHR and faster run walk and FCR higher. I mean, sure, skills are great. I get it. But you don't really need resistances until hell, and you can usually just like swap one shield full of some diamonds or random crap. But besides that, Rhyme and Splendor are broken, and you can make them in Necro heads. So pretty good list. I would never make Spirit. If you're like the most desperate guy ever, and I don't know how you haven't gotten it, you'll find something. You don't ever need to make Spirit. White is really good. White is actually super underrated in the game right now, even for a summoner. Oh, he was missing one. He was missing Harmony. Any source of vigor is a priority. Always run Act 1 Merc until your Blood Warp is a good level. And like switch to Act 3 for like Hell, or like maybe the end of Nightmare if you're having trouble. You could also go Act 5 if you get a good weapon. Again, there's a lot of good mercenaries in the game right now. This is a problem. Okay, Skeleton Mastery does not equal Skeleton Warrior. I know he's running Skeleton Archer, and so that makes a little more sense, but Skeleton Warrior is strictly better than Skeleton Mastery. Skeleton Mastery adds 2 damage per skill point. Skeleton Warrior adds 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 based on 1 to 7, blah, 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 28 plus. If you want to know what I'm talking about, just actually do some research on how Diablo 2 skills work, but basically there are breakpoints in the game from 1 to 28. There's 5 of them. And Skeleton Warrior gets to 2 base damage very quickly, skill level 7, and then gets to 3, and then 4, and then 5. And when you're getting 5 per point, I mean, yeah, you're not going to get that in normal 28 plus. But just the fact that you get to 2 that quickly, and you get more warriors, and then you get to 3, it's literally just better. There's no reason to get Skeleton Mastery unless you really have some extra points. But generally, you're going to want to save your extra points for getting all of your other random crap throughout the game. Bone Armor, Desecrate if you want it, Curses, Golem Masteries, 1 point IG even, etc., etc., etc. The other thing is I don't like this discussion about whether you should go warriors or mages. It's mages. But if you want to go warriors, fine. But actually, mages are the best. They're so far the best. So it's actually mages are better than warriors. But even this is wrong because warriors are better than mastery. And if you're wondering what's better between mages and mastery, it's actually mastery. So I guess this guy is actually a genius. But no, the reason why it's too... I don't want to make this video that long, guys. Just Skeleton Mastery actually buffs mage damage much more than mages because it basically buffs their spell level. Skeleton mages have a spell level. Every 2 points in Skeleton Mage buffs it by 1. Every 1 point in Mastery buffs it by 1. So it's almost twice as good. It's not quite because there's like a Just don't worry about it. It's almost twice as good. But Skeleton Mage actually gives you more mages, which is why you should get 8. There's probably a min-max, but just get 8 mages. Revives, I'm fine with revives. If you're going full skellies, though, I don't think revives are worth it. But if you're playing like a lazy style and you do get the Amp Witch Curse, I get it. It's fine. I would just go with a meaty revive, like a physical revive, or even an elemental revive. I don't even know. It doesn't matter. His build is fine. There's no issue with it. It's not what I would play. Okay, anyway, it's a fine build. The last thing is this. It's a really basic list of stat allocation. I would put energy above dexterity, even if I'm going max Vita. So I don't know if this guy's going to address energy and how useful it is for bone armor. Hopefully he does. I don't want to go. It's like the Skeleton Warrior conversation again. Look, max block is just bad on softcore. I'm going to look at you right now, and I'm going to tell you, if you're in softcore and you're running max block, you're wrong. If horny vegan and hardcore players think max block is better, I can't argue with them because I don't play hardcore. I don't even play PD2 anymore. And when I play hardcore, I think I tried a couple of times, and I die in Act 1. I think I die in the underground tunnel usually because I'm trying to go fast, and that place is really scary when you're low level. But I wouldn't even listen to this part, really. I'm guessing he's saying 118 for Marrowax, but 200 dexterity, that's a really random number. The 118 makes some sense because of Marrowax. They're very good boots, cannot be frozen, and mastery. Dexterity to 200 is just a random number he pulled out of his ass. And generally, do you need about 200 dexterity to get max block with Necromancer? Yeah, but it really depends on your gear. You might need less and you might need more. So I don't understand why he's saying +3, +1, +1. I guess because he's... I get it. I wouldn't... Does that even work? You won't even get enough dexterity to follow this system. Because if you go +4, +1, you'd have to be level 118. That doesn't make sense. But in general, I get the information. But yeah, energy's really good. Okay? There you go. Okay, this is worse than I thought. I don't know why he lists Cold Arrow Meditation as your choice for a Necromancer Summoner. He even suggests you get revives. Let's say he just means early on, in which case you don't care about bodies as much. But when you're leveling, you're probably going to have to resummon quite a bit. And so having any cold is annoying. Now again, I'm going to suggest you use Act 3 Cold Prayer because he's just that good. But there's no reason to run Act 1 because the cold is annoying. The damage isn't that good. You don't need mana. He doesn't cast much. It's not like he's playing a very active Necromancer. You run out of mana when you're resummoning skeletons, but if you're resummoning skeletons that often, the cold is going to be killing all the corpses anyways. It doesn't make any sense. It's vigor. You need vigor. Act 2 Defiance, sure. Technically, Deadly Strike does buff skeleton archers. It does not buff warriors. It does not buff revives. It does buff Iron Golem, and it also buffs Valkyries for whatever reason if you have a Valkyrie. But yeah, Defiance is good. I don't know if I'd ever recommend Act 2 on a Necromancer. And if I did, I'd probably suggest you go Deadly Strike, especially if you're running archers. Because archers are actually really, really good in game. They're not very good early. They're okay. They're usable. You can go pull pure skellies all the way through the game and be fine, but they're just not that useful. And Act 3 Cold Prayer is amazing. Every single Act 3 Merc is good. Act 3 Cold is just the easiest to use, especially early on. I do think eventually you're going to want to switch to Holy Shock. And he doesn't even list Act 5, which is unfortunate. He doesn't even list Act 4. I would go Act 4 Dark. I don't understand. Did he even play this season? This is this season, right? Act 4 Dark does really good damage, and he also gives you a free amp curse. He also gives you free curse mastery, so then you can apply a second curse. I love Act 3 Cold, but I would put Act 4 Dark as at least the second best Merc early on, at least. And then Act 4 Light is still useful. And Act 5 is a really solid choice. Again, please don't use the Might Merc. I will beat you to death. You use Battle Cry. Whirlwind is good. Just give him a big mace. If you are having issues with him dying, he is running archers, so then might isn't too bad. And the Might Merc actually does very good single target DPS. The single target DPS is kind of weird with the Act 5 Mercenary because it just depends on his AI. If he keeps whirlwinding, the whirlwinding guy is better. If he doesn't, then the Might Concentrate guy is pretty solid. He rivals Emilio, actually. In fact, Topwood did DPS test where I believe he found that the Act 5 Merc was actually out DPSing Emilio, which is just crazy. One thing that I would say is I would buff your Merc before you buff yourself. That's my personal preference when playing a Necromancer. Again, that's not a vacuum. I'm not saying just dump money into them, but in general, give the Act 3 Merc the skill gear. You can always, like, snapshot. I'm not saying you should, but even if you don't snapshot, they're just going to be your carry, especially early on. So prioritize them. Like early crafts, you should craft for your mercenary, not for yourself, because you just might roll a big juicy weapon or a nice FCR thing for them. Like you don't need FCR early as a necromancer, especially a summoner, or later for the most part. I don't know who thinks Shaco is budget early on, so I don't know. Maybe he doesn't mean on reset. On reset, I wouldn't get your Act 3 Merc of Shaco. Okay, this is the first cool thing I've seen in this entire video. By the way, 1 point Curse Mastery no longer does anything. He is playing from an antiquated period where I know people are going to tell me I'm stupid, but yes, for the first 2 seasons, I believe, the synergy from Curse Mastery increasing radius was soft. And yes, there are examples of soft points affecting synergies in Diablo 2. I don't know if any of them are intended, but it definitely used to exist. It doesn't anymore, but it used to be a good idea. So that's interesting. The real interesting part though is the 18-18-18. The reason why that's interesting is because actually that's the warrior part isn't optimal. That's just who knows what he's doing there. He's level 90. He doesn't have the points for it. The reason why 18-18 is optimal, and I don't know if he figured that out on his own or he watched my video, is hard points are how you get 8 mages and 8 archers, and you get 8 of them at 18 and 18 respectively. So there's not really a reason to put more points into it, especially since we know that Skeleton Mastery is better for mages. Now, are those 2 skill points pointless? No, but if you're trying to be judicious, especially playing a pure skeleton build, you have 80 points to devote. There's a lot of other useful skills you want to get. You might want to get more curses at some point. And so, yeah, very, very nice information here. I like that, except for the CM thing. That's stupid. And I would just go 1 point revive if you're running this build. I don't think that's the build on the screen, so let me just keep watching. Maybe he's preparing for the next step. Because you do get a few extra revives, but I don't think it's that important. His in-game build is too wrong to even talk about everything. Just in general, Trangles is super bad for a summoner in-game. Please don't run it. I would argue it's better for Poison Necro. It's better for Bone Necro than it is for Summon Necro. For Summon Necro, it really is all about plus skills and auras and things like Static Shock, which is probably you could make work on your Necromancer. Like, just think about going Innocence with Crescent Moon. Or the other item that has it. I forget the rune word, I believe. Shit, I forget. Anyways, so this is just a joke. An absolute joke of a list. Like, there's some information that's good. Who would ever make Delirium? Bone is terrible. Bone is so bad. All right, this is in game, right? Didn't he say that in game? No, this is dog shit, dude. This is absolute crap. This list is upsetting. Yeah. Okay. I think he's gonna talk about a Shootist Temper in a second. It's not a good idea. There is a way to stack damage on mercenaries. I don't think this is the way to do it. And he's like kind of going half damage, half supporting you, half making the merc do more damage. I love Exile. I'll give him that. Love Templar's Might. Hard to argue that. For the weapon, though, clearly the best weapon is either going to be Beast or Last Wish. Like, clearly. For the helm, I like. God, what's the name of it? Oh no, it's so good. It's the helm that casts taunt. Yeah, but anyways, but that's specifically if you're running Innocence. Innocence is an option as well. He doesn't even list that for procking things. It's just whatever, dude. I would like to say one thing though. So he goes max block in game. Very cool. 10-point revive. I really don't get the 10-point revive. So yeah, he does end up putting more points in the revive. Like, if you're running witches for curse support, you don't need to put points in them. A few points is fine for extra witches. I get it. It also increases their skill level, which increases the radius of the curse. I don't think he's using the right witch. The 1-point CM is pointless. Um, yeah, this makes even less sense than the level 90 build, because, like, at this point, I don't really get it. It's kind of making me mad. Like, this guy's video was very popular, and I don't get how he's played the game this long and he thinks this is the best way to play Necromancer. But who knows? He's going to explain it all, probably. He he literally talked about how he's a legendary necromancer and he makes his iron golem out of silence. I don't know what else you want from me. He doesn't have beast, so you could make your iron golem out of beast. Like, you're talking about this is your special build and you're a legendary necromancer, and like whatever, you go full trangs, just go full trangs. But okay, it's worse, but it's an option. It's not that much worse. It's also easier. You don't got to swap and stuff. Although there is a no swap build better than this. Shout outs to MCH. But anyways, it's like a pretty easy no swap necromancer, and I get that. And a lot of people don't like to swap, and so going full trangs +1 is the easiest way to do that. But trust me, like Bone Flame, like there's a way to go no swap and do all of this better. I don't want to talk about this anymore. But like silence, make a beast. He did a. He took him. Again, I don't know how fast he was going at the beginning, but it took him 9 minutes to get halfway through a sewers map. Like the bar is so low here. Um, the last thing I'll say, there was like a couple of things I could have talked about earlier, but I really don't care at this point. Like, he kind of misses the whole point that one of the most useful items in the game right now, even for a necromancer, is innocence, and it's just really good. Um, it's just procking things with innocence is just kind of OP, and because you're stomping on enemies, it works. Uh, I don't get his revive choice. Right then, he wasn't using witches, but like 10-point revives isn't going to help him too much. It does give him meat shields, but at that point, you go 1 or 3. The reason you go 3 is because the first 3 skill points you always get an extra revive, I believe, and then it's like 1 every 4. Wait, isn't it always 1 every 4? You can just look at the tooltip. Now I don't even know. Maybe the first 3 points don't even matter either. Oh my god. I can't think. Maybe it is every at 1, 4, 7, right? That's right. Right, because it goes 3 to 8. Sorry. So no, it just never made any sense. Like, I could see 4 just to have a couple extra skill levels to the witches, but like he's not running witches anymore. He's running revives that just do damage. If you want to run CC revives, get Thorned Hulks are very good. Frozen Yetis are very good. Udawars are very good. They're not as good at being CC, but the nice thing about them is that they have the crushing blow. So it means when you go to a boss, even though you don't have much points into revives, the crushing blow will proc, and so the first chunk of the boss's health is easier to deal with. And the last thing is, like, he brings up use the PD2 Discord. Like, he's not doing that. Clearly, like, necromancers are better than this, and he says he's a legendary player. I don't know how involved he is in the community, but like, there's just no way he's a legendary necromancer, and this is as good as he's gotten. Because this is what people were playing in season 1. This isn't even like season 3 necromancer. This is season 1 necromancer. Oh, there was one last thing. I want to test something. This video made me look at Replenish Life because he like really likes the prayer aura. And what's interesting about prayer aura when it comes to summons is summons have something called damage regeneration, and that is something that all enemies and pets have. And it's like a flat heal gain that is different. And poison cancels it out. Open wounds cancels it out. Prevent monster heal would cancel it out. I'm not sure what enemy has prevent monster heal. So there is some use to prayer because when your skeletons are poisoned, they don't have that base damage regeneration. And warriors have very little life, actually. More than archers, but less than mages. Not very good. And the reason they're tanky is because they have very high damage regeneration. And so having any amount of support for them can be useful. But the reason I bring this up is I want to look at poison, and I want to try to re-explore whether poison suffers from these same issues of lore, which is that online, and I'm not sure how to test this, maybe I should talk to Talkwood, because I know he was interested about this too, is that every 7 frames, poison is canceled out by other damage sources, same as damage regeneration. So that's interesting as well. That's why if you just keep attacking a boss, it actually won't heal. Now again, 7 frames, but like 1 or 2 frames of damage regeneration isn't a big deal. So yeah, that's a little side topic. Okay, skill looking up, guys. GG.
Come play with us, Danny.